Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to the day 5 of our Java fundamentals. So, how are you all guys? Have you all tried the yesterday assignment? Yeah, guys, so I think we'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Let's everyone join. Yeah, good. So, who all tried yesterday assignment? Done. Okay, good. Great. And also, guys, once you're done, also help other people like maybe on Telegram or Google Classroom. It's always good to help others. Okay, so yeah, today we'll discuss about user-defined functions, arguments, return types, arrays, 2D arrays, and also the nested loops, right? So I think one of the question in the yesterday assignment was also about nested loop, right? Maybe many of you already know nested loop, you have already done that. But yeah, we'll see one problem around the nested loop also today. So I think before we move on to the arrays, let's see one problem around the nested loop. Okay. So I think guys, nested loop is simple. Nested loop is nothing, right? It's simple thing, right? There is nothing complex here. Once you have a loop inside a loop, it's a nested loop, right? If you say for loop and you also written one for loop inside, it's a nested loop. And in case of nested loop, right, the functionality doesn't change. What I mean that this is a loop, it will behave as a loop. This is a loop, it will also behave as a loop. So for each iteration of this, let us suppose, if I give example, let us suppose if I am saying for I equal to 1 to 5, right? And I have a loop again, say for j equal to 1 to 5, right? This is simple. For each value of I, j loop will execute because this is kind of a one set of statement for I. So it will be like for I equal to 1, j will also go from 1 to 5, right? For I equal to 2, again j will go from 1 to 5, right? So this is how nested loops works, right? But this is guys simple, right? Don't get confused or don't feel that you don't know nested loop. It's simple. This is also like for each iteration, this loop will be also executed the same number of times. The other statements are being executed, right? So okay, maybe I'll just show you this thing by program so you guys can understand better. One second. Yeah. So okay, let's start the clip. Good evening, guys. Good evening. So the people who already know Java, okay. Have they learned something new or it was just a revision for them? The people who are already knowing Java. Okay, someone is having a doubt in assignment. Okay, guys, I will take your assignment doubts. Or if it's not possible today, we'll just conduct a session separately for assignment doubts, guys. Don't worry. Okay, so what we want to do is just a nested loop normally, right? Let us suppose if I am saying for int I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, right? So this is a loop, and if I write a loop again inside this, as I told you, right? Both will go for each iteration of say, right? So for each iteration of I, j will execute. So what we'll do is, I think for better understanding, we'll just try to print this. I'm saying sys out I equal to then plus I plus j equal to plus j. So whenever you have any doubts, right, in understanding loops, the best thing is like just try to see how it's being executed, right? So if I run this program, you can see, right? The same thing I told you, right? For I0, we are going with I0, J0, Y0, J1 like this. So for I0, J will go from 0 to 4. For I1, J will again go from 0 to 4. Then I equal to 2, J will again go from 0 to 4. Similarly for I3 and similarly for I4, right? So this is how nested loops work, right? Okay, let us suppose, I think there was one question in the assignment also. So we'll try to do some simple version for that. Okay. I think you must have seen the patterns program, right? So let us suppose if I want to print some kind of pattern like this. Right, based on the input, let us suppose if I have given an input 5, I want this star pattern, right? This you can think it of like this, right? So I want this star pattern. So guys, normally, right, whenever you see a pattern question, the best way to approach this is you need to understand that how the value of I or j will work. So I cannot just go directly put these things in sys out, because if value is 5, I want this output. If the value is 6, there will be one more row here, right? Okay. So what would I say? Okay, one second. So the best thing is, right, try to see maybe in some form of a grid, like all these pattern things. So whenever you have a pattern question, just try to form a grid around this. Right. Yeah. Okay, so we'll just take a case for 5, right? So what we want? We want 1 star, then we want 2 star, right? Then we want 3 star, right? Then we want 4 star, and then we want 5 star, right? Like this. So what can we do here? We can think it of like a I going like this and j going like this, right? Because for I equal to 0, we'll print this line. For I equal to 1, we'll print this line, right? So it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 for I. And this will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 for j. Okay? Okay, so let's see. If I want to, you can just think it of. So j will be a nested part and I will be the outer loop. Okay? So what can I do? For I equal to 0, j will go from which range to which range, guys? 0 to 0, right? For I equal to 1, j will go from 0 to 1, right? For I equal to 2, j will go from, you guys tell me. For I equal to 2, j will go from where to where? 0 to good evening, guys. So from I equal to 2, j will go from 0 to 2, right? Yeah. So for I equal to 3, j will go from, you can just see here, 0 to 3. And for I equal to 4, j is also going from 0 to 4. So can you see one thing, that j is always going from 0 to something, right? So I is going from 0 to 4, right? So I will always go from 0 to 4. And j is going from 0 to some value is there, right? If you see one thing, right, this is, can I say this is equal to I? Can you see a pattern here also, right? So j is also going from same to I. So can I say j is going from 0 to I? Will this work? Right? Because you can see j is always going from 0 to 0, I0, j1, I1, j is going from 0 to 1, I2, j is going from 0 to 2, like this. It's always going from 0 to I, right? So I think we got an idea that how to approach this now. So always guys, right? Like first we should know that what is the logic around a problem, right? Whenever you have a problem, first try to understand the logic that how you can solve that problem. Writing a syntax is very easy thing, guys. Writing a syntax doesn't take much time. It's just like you should know the basics of a language. You can just write the syntax. The main part is building the logic, which is important. So you should always. It's okay if you are spending time on building a logic, but first build the logic and then go for code writing the code. Okay. So now let's do this problem. Okay. So we'll just do this print star problem, guys. Okay, so maybe many of you already done this problem before, but the point is, guys, the main thing I just want you guys to understand is how you should approach a problem. So you can, because what happens, right? Many times people know easy problems but when the problem statement is large or like they go for more questions, they found it difficult. So what we have established, we'll go from 0 to n, right? Whatever the input is given. Like if I say, okay, for now let us suppose I will go till 5, right? And whatever the inner loop, whatever the j will go, j will also go from 0. Sorry, it will be j, right? J will also go from 0 till I, right? And j plus plus. Is this clear to all of you? Anyone have a doubt in this? And we can do sys out. And in sys out, in place of ln, we'll use system.out.println. We'll print the star. And once we print that row, we'll print a new line character also. So after this, we'll also add a new line character here. Right? So we'll just say empty println. So is it clear to everyone? There is a simple program to print this star pattern which we have discussed. Is it clear to all of you? And if we run this, we got this, right? Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Somehow it's not giving us for the 5, right? Because it will go from 0. Okay, it should be, why we have not got one thing? It should be equal to, right? Because we are going from 0 to 0. So it should be equal to. That's why in first line it was coming as empty. Now we got the expected result, right? Okay. Or if we want, we can just take this 5 as an input from the user also. We can just use our scanner class. We'll take the input from console, so we'll write system.in. And we'll just say int n equal to scan.next int, right? So this is how we'll get the input from the user. And here in place of 5, we just say n and we'll run our program, right? And when a user say 10, we got this pattern. So if I ask you the assignment question, guys, right? We want a similar pattern, but we also want the value to be reduced. So I think now you can try the question in assignment also. You just need to establish this thing. Okay? Okay, I think so. This is how we can use nested loop for different patterns. The only thing would be like the conditions would be changing, like from which part to which part you are going in the loop, right? Or what is the initial value or till which you have to go. Okay? Yeah, guys. Okay. Cool. So, I hope this is clear. So now which topic you want me to teach first, guys? Arrays or user defined functions, guys? Which topic to go first, guys? Arrays or user defined functions? Both are independent topics. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the arrays, guys. I think someone is saying arrays. arrays. Okay. Okay. I will do arrays, guys. Like whatever you want, we'll do, guys. But so, guys, defining arrays is simple in Java. What we have to do? So I'll just show you the first way to define array. Let us suppose if I want to define an int array, I can say int a, right, equal to, and in the brackets I can give whatever the value I want to give in this array. Okay, so before this, right, arrays, everyone understand what is array? So guys, normally when we define, right, let us suppose if I ask you that I want to store, say, 10 numbers. So how can you store 10 numbers, guys? I can define 10 variables, right? Num1, num2, like this. I can define 10 variables and I can store the 10 numbers. But if I ask you that store 10, 100 numbers, right? If you want to say store 100 numbers, so it would be difficult for you to define 100 variables, right? That would be a difficult task, right? So arrays is a data structure actually, where all these numbers, right, will be stored in a contiguous memory. So there will be 1, 2 indexes would be there, and if you define an array say of 100 length, this is how in the memory it will be allocated, and each number you can find at an index, like if it's an integer array, right? So this is how we can have an array for integer, we can have for any other data types also, right? The use of array is like when we want large number of data set for a, and it should be contiguous memory, right? So this is how we use arrays. But in array we should know the size first, right? What will be the size of our array? How many items we want, how many numbers we want. So one approach is like, let us suppose I want to define array with some initial value. Yeah. So I can simply declare a variable. So this is a declaration. A is a array of integer type. So just define a variable a, which would be an array, but I have not initialized it with any variables or any values. So the next thing is to initialize this, right? What can we do? What can we do? We can simply say a equal to, and now I can define the values like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I think, yeah, so this format will not be able to use because, okay, so what we can do, we can just say new int of 5. Yeah. So what we have done here, we are saying, so we use new keyword, then whatever the data type of that array would be, and then we say what is the size of array. So here we have, first we have declared the array, then we have initialized the array with, or I think it's better to say declare and then define definition. Because this is a definition or the declaration, this is definition. Yeah. Of size 5. Okay. So we have defined it now. Defined with size 5. Okay. So like now the array, this was just a variable of array type. Now we are saying this array will be containing 5 values. So it will be a 5 integers which would be there. Okay. And guys, arrays are very important concepts in any language or for any interviews, any place. You will always see questions around arrays. So what it will just create 5 blocks for you in the memory. So it will be just 5 blocks for you. And we have to give the size before we use the array. We have to use, guys, new keyword because we need this array, right? So with the help of new keyword, what it will do, it will just allocate the memory for the array. So once we say new, right, it will just create a space for this array with 5 blocks. Okay, so guys, I will say at a first statement, right, when we have int, when we have written only int a, right, like this, it will just create a variable on the stack. that there is a variable a which is of array type. But when we actually say new, this a will start pointing to this array, right? This will start pointing to the actual memory. Okay, and we use new keyword. New keyword you will see when there is a memory required or we're doing a memory initialization. Okay, so this is why we use new keyword here. Okay. Okay. The other way to define an array is also, if I know what the values my array will consist of, right? Let us suppose I know I want to keep 5 numbers and I already know the value of these 5 numbers. So I can also define with initial values like this. So this is also another way to define an array. But when we want an array to be defined with initial values like this, we have to do it in one line. Like with the new thing also we can do like this. This will also work. We can also do it in one line like this. This will also work. This is also one more way to define an array, right? So what we have to do, you have to give a data type, you have to give an array name, you have to give these brackets, then you have to give new keyword, then you again have to give the data type, then in the brackets you have to give the size of the array. Okay? So this is how we define arrays. The other way of writing arrays in Java is also, right, these brackets you can put anywhere. You can put before the variable name or you can put after the variable name. So you can see here, I have just put these brackets, right, just before the variable name which was D, right. So this is allowed in Java. You can put the this brackets, square brackets, before the variable name or after the variable name. This doesn't make any difference. Like in this case, it makes it more readable that yeah, we know this is the array which is coming on, right? Or you can also like this. You can write like this also. So I'm telling you these things because many times in the some quiz and all you might find the different syntax, right? So that's why you should be aware of both all the syntaxes, like how you can define arrays in Java. Okay, so these are different ways of declaring arrays in Java. Is it clear to all of you? No, there is no difference, guys, as such. In this case, it will just create it with the values. Memory will be allocated and all, but in like a string, there will be nothing, no difference as such. Okay. Okay, I think this would be clear to all of you guys. So let us suppose if I say I want to read input in the arrays, right, from the user, right? So what we'll try to do, let's try to do a problem. Read 10 numbers as input and calculate sum. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so what we'll try to do, let us suppose, we'll just, so we have to read 10 numbers. So okay, first what we'll do, we'll just define the array. I'm saying my number is 10, then I'm saying input is my input array, and then I'm saying new int and I'm just passing say n here. Right, so I've just defined this array of n size, right? Or if I try to do something like this, let's see. Okay, for now you can maybe keep it constant only, otherwise you'll get confused. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll just take our input from the user. So we'll just initialize our scanner class. And don't worry guys, like if you find these concepts bit tough, don't worry, just go and revise these things, because if you're learning arrays for the first time, you might find it tough. Or if you have any doubts, keep asking guys. So what we'll do, we'll go from 0 till n, right? Because we have defined n as a number of inputs you want from the user. Sorry, this will be equal to 0, right? And whatever the input will come in, we'll just store it in an array. at different index. So I will be 0, so at 0th index we will store the number. So just do is scan.nextInt and we will store it in the number, right? This will be input. It will not be input 0, it should be input I, right? Because once I will be 0, will be store the number at a 0th index in the array also. Similarly at the index 2 like this we'll keep going on, right? Once this is done and we want to calculate the sum, guys. So we'll just define, say let us suppose we initialize the sum variable with 0, and then what we'll do for the loop, we'll iterate over the array. So we'll go from 0, and to get the length of array we have a variable dot length. So guys, there will be no brackets here. When we talk about array length is a property in the array. So this is the difference between okay, someone is asking, guys, why I have put this scanner out of the loop, right? So guys, what scanner do, when we create a object, it's give me the capability of reading from the input, right? Reading as an input. And I want to get continuously next integer, but I don't need to open my pipe again and again with the input. Okay, I will just show you guys. So whenever we do, right, scanner thing, right, when I am saying scanner and right, new scanner system.in, so you can think it of like we are opening a pipe, right? This will be your console, and let us suppose this is your program, right? So we are opening a pipe to read input from the console, right? So once you open the pipe, you can keep reading the input from the same pipe or from same scanner only, right? Otherwise, if you keep initializing this object again, you will just demolish this and you will just create again new pipe, right? But for reading from the same console, you don't need to create this object again and again. You can just create it once and then use it, right? And you can also close this if you want once the reading is done, right? But you don't need to create the scanner object again and again. We'll just keep reading from the same scanner and it will keep giving us the next integer. Okay, I hope this is clear. Yeah, and here guys, what we'll do, we'll go from 0 till the length of the array, and we'll just add it into the sum equal to sum plus input I, right? And now we can print sum of the numbers plus sum. Clear? Okay, so I hope this is clear, guys. So let's try to run this program and see how this will work. Yeah, let us suppose this is the input I am giving, right? The sum comes in as a 93, right? So this is how we can write the program. Like we are reading values, we have read around all these values and we got the sum as 93. Okay, so I hope this is clear and you also understood, right, how to read input and store it in array and how to use the value which is stored in array. Okay, clear? I think good, guys. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. Okay, let's suppose we want to define a 2D array. Like if I want to say store some matrix kind of thing, right? So we can also declare 2D array in Java. I'll just show you the 2D array part. And you can declare arrays for of strings, integer, character, anything else. Okay, so this is a 2D array which you want to define. So the syntax would be somewhere similar. So like whenever we want to define 2D arrays, we have to give two brackets like this, right? And then we again give new keyword. This will be an integer, right? And here we have to give at least one size, which is say 5, or we can give both also, right? So this will be an array of 5 cross 6, right? So you can think it of as a matrix, like this is an array of 5 cross 6. And how these things normally, right, looks in when it comes to memory in Java. So when you define an array of 5 cross 6, it will be something like this. You will have one array of 5 size. So it will be index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then all will be pointing to a new array of 6 size. So this is actually how these things are stored in memory, guys. Everything will be pointing like this to a this. So you can think it of like this. This is how it's stored in memory. But yeah, you can think it of like for your purpose, you can just think it of a matrix of 5 by 6 also. That's not a problem. You can just think it of a 5 by cross 6 matrix. But yeah, this is I'm showing how it's actually stored in memory. How the things goes into a memory part. Okay. So I have this, and you can think it of like 5 by cross 6 memory. This thing only 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2 like this. 1, 0, 2, 0 like this. So this is like how the 2D arrays look like. So you'll see it more like when you're doing something related to matrix, right? Matrix types of problems. Okay. So this is one way of declaring a 2D array. The other thing is, right, we can skip the second part also. I can just say that I know I want the rows to be 5, but I am not sure the columns. So I can just skip this part. Second part we can skip also, guys. Right? So what does this mean? What does this mean? I've just said I want an array and I know the number of rows will be 5. But columns I have not initialized yet. But yeah, it will allow you to do. But I have not initialized them yet. And if you want, you can also have them of a different size also, guys. Let us suppose here I can have only just 2, here I have 3. So it will also work like this. Okay, yeah. Let us suppose, okay. And guys, these brackets also, you can move it like something like this. You can put one bracket before also, like this. And this will be the same thing, guys. Like 5, 6, like this also. This is also one way to represent the same thing. You can put this one bracket here also. The only thing is, right, the only difference when you put this bracket here or here, it's make it more clear that yeah, this is going to be an array. That's it, nothing else. You can also put both the brackets before, like this, right? So it's more clear now. This is a 2D array, right? This is just a different representation of the same thing, nothing else, guys. Okay, so now let's try to read a matrix of say size 2 by 3 or 3 by 3 or say 4 by 5 from the user, right? Okay, so I will define a matrix of say input. So what the size we want? We want a size say 4 by 5. So I want to read a matrix of 4 by 5 from the user. Okay. Now what will I do? I'll just in the for loop. Let us suppose I am I is my representing my rows. I will go from 0 to 4. I plus plus. J is representing my columns, and J will go from 0 to 5. Right? This is how we are doing. and we can just initialize our scanner class. And here in the input I comma j, what I will do? I will do scan dot next thing, right? This is what we have done, right? We have started from, we're going from 0 to 4, 0 to 5, like this. Is it clear, guys? These are very important concepts, guys. I think I would say, right, when you start with any data structures, array is something like first thing you need to understand. Or arrays and strings, they are the most common topics from which you will see the problems in any online coding thing or interviews. Okay, so this is how we are doing. Okay, so I think what we will do, and for your clarity, I will also sys out reading value for I comma j equal to plus I plus comma plus j. Okay. Okay, guys. So you can see nested loops you are using here also. Okay, okay. In place of putting the value, we just this will be like this, right? Okay. So we are reading the value for 0, 0. So let us suppose in 0, 0 we give 1. In 0, 1 we give say 2, like this. We can enter the value, right? Now it's asking us for 0, 2, 0, 3. And I think what we can do, we can also try to guys print this also once we read these values, right? Okay, for now let's skip the values because we have already started the loop. Otherwise it will be boring, guys. We can see, right? It's checking all the values of the matrix one by one. Right? So we are done. So I think once we read all the values, we can also print this, guys. I think then that's better because otherwise we should know also how to output it to the user. So we'll just copy this. We'll just paste it here. So in the inner loop, right? For the column, what we'll do, we'll just print the value of input I j, right? And here I'm not using ln, so that's why we got more like a feeling of a, right? So we get feeling more of a same format. And once this one row is done, we'll just print new line, something like this. Okay, okay. So let's run this program. Okay, I think guys, we'll do it for some small range, guys. Otherwise, we have to give long inputs. Let us suppose let's do it for 2 to 3 matrix, guys. We'll just do it for 2 cross 3. So we are reading 2, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11. So you can see it's coming as 2, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, but we don't have a space. Okay, okay, forgot to mention the space here, but yeah. So you got right. Like this, you can read any 2D matrix like with this program. Is it clear to you guys how to read inputs from array or how to write outputs? Overloading and all, guys, these concepts we'll discuss over the weekend, right? When we talk about OOPS concepts, and we discuss, guys. Okay. So anyone have any doubts in the arrays? Otherwise, we'll move on to the next topic for today, which is it clear to you guys? 1D array, 2D array. Anyone have any doubts in these two things? Okay, now let's see the user defined functions, guys. Okay, 2D array will explain you guys once again. So I think in the meantime, the people like who have understood the 2D array, they can just go and fill their attendance, or I will just keep explaining the. So this is a code for today. 2323. So you can just go and fill in your attendance, and I will explain you 2D array once more also. No, it doesn't like it's not dependent on if it's a school teacher or a college student. It's for anyone who wants to learn Java. I think people are from school also, college is also working also. So I think that doesn't matter, guys. Like when you are learning any language. Like I said, just fill in quickly and then we'll go down. We'll just move on to the user defined functions also, and I will explain you once again the 2D array concepts also. Don't worry. Attendance link will be there, guys, in the description. You can just check. So guys, I will take a 1 or 2 minute break and then we will start. For assignments, guys, maybe we'll meet once tomorrow or day after tomorrow, and we can discuss all the assignment question where you have any doubts. So maybe we'll have a half an hour session maybe tomorrow, or like when you want to keep me the session for assignments queries discussion. We can just have a half an hour session, guys, extra. Maybe Friday is fine, right? Friday 8 o'clock we can just meet on Zoom or some platform. where we can discuss all these things, guys. All the assignments, question, doubts. So you want me to keep it for Friday or tomorrow? Because I want you guys to try out first. So he's asking question number, explain the logic. Please solve assignment third. 1 second, guys. Maybe I'll just see what is the assignment there. Assignment third, you mean like the yesterday's assignment or which day assignment? Which day assignment you are asking? Bhargav? Day 3 assignment? Day 2 assignment, I am not sure. Can you tell me which day assignment you are asking? Where this guy gone, man? Which day assignment you are asking? A day before yesterday. If you are asking day 3 assignment only, right? 1 second, guys, I will just check. One second, guys, I'll try to give you the. Okay, I'll just give you a brief idea about, guys, maybe the assignments, don't worry. 1 second, give me a minute, guys. Just open the assignments and give you idea. So why don't, guys, you can, like, if you find out, you can just post it on Telegram and Classroom also, guys, I think. Like, whenever you start, just post in there. Maybe I'll just give you a brief idea about these things, don't worry. One second, guys, I'm just opening the assignment and then I'll show you. Okay, so 1 second, I'll just show you the assignment. So maybe I'll just not cover the complete solution, but yeah. Okay, so what we'll do, right? I think let's spend 10-15 minutes on the user defined functions and then I will just explain you the assignment problems. I think that would be better. Like people who have solved the assignment, they can also see if they want, otherwise they can. Okay, that's fine, right? Let's go with the user defined functions first and then we'll see the assignments also. So yeah, user defined functions, right? Whenever you want to define a function, it's called as user defined function. So normally, right, any function, if you see, right, main function also, any function will have what? What will be the format of a function? It will have some return type. It will have method name. It can have arguments. Right? So this is how you define a function. And there can be keywords here, like this. Maybe form is closed, guys. I'm not sure. Okay, don't worry, guys. If you're not being able to fill, we will get it rectified at the end. I think for now, you can focus on the class. We'll get it done, guys, for you. Right. So this is how we can define a function. So let us suppose I want to define a function which say calculate the area of a circle. Right? Or maybe we'll just say area of a rectangle. So I want to define a function right? Area of rectangle, right? So while calculating the area of rectangle, what two things you need? We need some length or breadth, right? Something like this. Or length or width we can say, right? And then we know, right, what is the area? Area will be length into width, right? So this is the area of rectangle, right? So guys, the benefit of function is, right, whenever we want to do a same kind of thing again and again, we don't need to go and repeat the code again. We can just call that function. So that's why we use all these functions. Here, in place of what is expected here, right? If you ask someone like what is the area of rectangle, you will expect him to give you the area. So using return keyword, right, we can return a value from a function. So I can just say return area. Void, right? Void we write for the functions where we don't expect any return thing. Like if maybe the objective of that function is to say print something. That's it. If you don't want any output from the function, you just write void. But if you want any output from the function, in place of void, what we can do? So here, like if we say area will be an integer, we can just say integer. And like these inputs are integer, so we have int here. But there can be a cases where what's giving error. Okay. And guys, whenever you are, I think we have not saved the class. That's why, yeah. Okay. So normally, whatever the functions you define in a class, right, it belongs to the class. But if you want to call that function without creating the objects, we have to use static keyword. And it's only the static functions can call the other static functions. So that's why we have to create functions for now using static. So we'll understand all more about like how to create a function without non-static, how to call that functions when we go to the OOP principles. Right? For now, you can just focus that if you want to create a function, we'll create it as a static function. The static functions belongs to the class. Static function and can be called without creating objects, right? So this is how you can do the static things, right? So here what I can do, I can just call this function guys. Area of rectangle, let me pass any length, 12, 15 times, right? And if I want to do same thing again and again, and I can also print this guys. I can directly call this function and say sysout also, like this. Or you can store the value also and then print. So if you want to calculate, say for multiple values, if you want to calculate an area, we can just call this function and it will just give us an area. Right? You can also restore the result in some variable, say area 4, right, by calling this function. And after this we can use, if you want to print, we can just print this also, like this. Okay, now let's run this. And so we got all for all the 4 values. So you can see, otherwise if we were not having this function, what we were doing, we could have writing this again and again, right? And later on, if you want to change the functionality of area or rectangle, we can just go and right. So this is how we create functions. We can have different types of return. You can change this arguments also, whatever this function is taking as an input. You can change whatever the output it's returning. I think as I told you that we are keeping it as a static function because we want it to be called from main. Okay, so right now, do you have any doubts in the static functions? Any doubts in static function or arrays? Is it clear? Otherwise, I will move on to the assignments, doubts, whatever you guys having. Okay, the people who are left out with with the attendance, just they do it quickly, guys. Attendance code is 2323. Just do it, and then we'll see. It's 2323, guys. Okay, just fill it quickly in 1 minute, and then I will take your assignment doubts now. Okay, guys. So I hope all of you are done. Okay, so let's move on to the assignment doubts part, guys. So I think assignment doubts, as I told you guys, if you have any doubts in yesterday's assignment, also today's assignment, also, we'll meet maybe on Friday. Once we'll just take your doubts for like half an hour or something. But yeah, whatever the doubts you have now, like we'll just take that quickly also. Don't worry. So the doubt which is there is a day 3 assignment question 1 and 3. Okay, I just give you the hint, I just give you the idea. And in case if you need full solutions, I will give you the full solutions also, guys. Don't worry. Okay. Yeah. So okay, so someone was asking. Yeah, guys. So okay, problem in exchanging the string characters. Okay, I'll explain you that. So maybe I'll just open the problem statement, guys. 1 second. Okay, so 1 second, right? I will just explain you the first problem people was asking is from seconds, right? We want what? We want day, hour, minute, second information, right? So guys, in this problem, it's simple, right? What you have to do? You have to calculate how many seconds you have actually in a day. So if I ask you how many seconds you have in a day, how many seconds you have, guys? In 1 minute, how many seconds you have? 60 seconds, right? Right? And in 1 hour, how many minutes you have? 60 minutes. So in 1 hour, how many seconds you will have? 60 into 60, which is 3600, right? So in 1 day, how many hours you have? 24 hours. How many seconds you will have? 24 into 60 into 60, right? Yeah. So this is how you can do. So guys, let us suppose whatever the input is given, if I just do, let us suppose we have given a input seconds. For an input second, right? If I just do it percent, number of seconds in day, what it will I will get, guys? What you will get as output? What will the remainder here, guys? Okay, first let's do, if we just do input second divided by number of seconds in day, so what this will give you? Number of days, right? Right? This will give you number of days. Do you want me to write the code also for this? And this will give you the remaining seconds, right? This will give you the remaining seconds, and this will give you the, because we are trying to convert the given seconds into the exactly convertible day. So this will give you the number of days, and this will give you the remaining seconds. You want me to write the code also? The people who was asking, they got an idea. And from this remaining seconds, now we'll try to get the number of hours. So what we'll do? Input second. Guys, is it clear, or do you want me to write code for this? Is it clear, or do you want me to write a code for this? I can write the code for this also. It will not take much. It will not take much time. Let me know, Bhargav. Is it clear to you, or? Okay, we'll just explain you guys quickly this code. Okay, this is the second problem, right? Seconds problem you want to discuss. Okay, guys. So, let us suppose I am defining input second. You can say any value was there, like whatever the input I am just for now. Let us, okay, let's what we'll do. We'll just say 6. This is what I have defined. Okay. Now I'll define variables. Say seconds in minute would be second. Seconds in hour would be seconds in minute into 60, right? And seconds in day will be seconds in hour into 24, right? This is clear. So we know, right, how many seconds we have in minute, how many seconds in day, in hour, right? So now what we will do, we have a given seconds as an input. So if I divide them by seconds in day as a output, what we'll get? We'll get the number of days. So number of days, how much will it be? It will be seconds divided by seconds in day. This is clear? Okay. So now what we'll do, I will just say the remaining seconds. So what will the remaining seconds? I can just say seconds minus whatever the days I have already covered. Number of days into seconds in day. Right? This is clear? Remaining seconds into seconds minus number of days, seconds in day. Okay, now what will I do? Because guys, we have to get first number of days, then we'll go to number of hours. What is the number of hours? From the remaining seconds, now we'll try to get the seconds in hour. Because we are dividing, it will give you the exact thing. Whatever the exact thing will be there, now we'll do it in seconds. And now what will the remaining seconds? Remaining seconds will be, we have to now minus from remaining seconds. Remaining seconds minus number of hours into seconds in hour. I think it's already zoomed, guys. I think Zoom. Okay, guys, we'll try, guys. Like if it's possible, maybe the OOP session will conduct in Zoom or Google Meet, guys. We'll see this. A DSA we are going to do in Zoom or Google Meet only, but yeah, we'll see if it's possible to do it in Zoom, guys. No, because there is some lag in. I know there is some lag in YouTube. And then we'll just go for number of seconds. So it's like ab jo bacha wo seconds. So number of seconds will be remaining seconds. Whatever is left out, it's second. Clear? And now, guys, I think printing part you want me to do, or you will do it on your own. You can just print, right? Printing part you only do, guys. I'm not going to do this print also. Clear? Is this clear, right? Assignment solution. You want me to move to next problem? Which next problem? Is it clear? Like Bhargav and all, like who the people who are asking me to write code. Form, if it's not working, guys, just wait. Like maybe we'll get it open again. Don't worry. Just wait. Okay, clear. Okay. So which problem? Next problem you want me to explain you? Okay, exchanging string. Exchanging string was a part of this assignment only? Okay, this was a problem 2. Okay, so what we wanted to do here, guys, there was some problem mistake and we want to exchange the first 2 character of one string with the last 2 character of the other string. Same thing needs to be done for the both strings. Okay. So I think, guys, this is a simple problem. 1 second, I'll just explain. Okay. So let us suppose if the given string bar is say A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, something like this. So I want to exchange these first 2 characters. I want to put here, and this last 2 characters I want to put here. Similarly, these first 2 characters I want to put here, and these last 2 characters I want to put at the start. Okay, I think this looks confusing, but what I want here as an output, what I want for a first string, while forming a first string, I want last 2 character of second plus remaining of first plus first 2 character of second. This is what I want. Similarly, for second string, what I want? Last 2 of first plus remaining of second plus first 2 of first, right? This is how we want, right? And guys, if I want say last 2 character of a second string, what can I do? I can simply use substring. I can do substring, and what I will do here? I will do length minus 2 to length, or it will be length minus 3, right? Because it will be at index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So length will be 5. And from which index we want? We want index from 3, right? Yes, it will be 2 only because we want index from index 3. So it will be length minus 2 length. This is how we can get the last 2 characters. How can we get the first 2 characters? I can just do substring from 0 to 2, right? And this is how I can get the last. And how I can get the remaining characters? I can do only from, I can start from index 2 till length minus 2. Is it clear? So you just have to understand that how you have to use substrings, from which index to which index you have to do. Is this clear to you guys? I hope you will be able to write the code for this. This should be simple, guys. You just need to use extensively the substring thing. Yeah, Aparna and all. Right. Is it clear, the people who was asking this question? Is it clear to them? Now you will be able to solve this. You can try out, guys. Like, still, if you got stuck somewhere, you can ask me in maybe the session, like the next doubt session we'll have. You can ask, but give it a try because now you know the logic. You just need to do it all yourself. Last index, you can use length method, guys. So we know, right? We have a length method which we can use. But I want you to guys to give a shot on your own also. So you learn coding, guys. Cool? Okay? Clear? At least you understand the logic, right? All of you. People like who are not being able to solve this. And don't worry, guys, like for the day 3, 4, 5, we'll like just extend it unless we discuss these once, right? Maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So we'll just extend the deadline for these things. Don't worry. Leap year is, guys, simple thing. And leap year I don't want to discuss. Okay, any doubts? Any other doubts? Leap year is just a if-else problem, guys. Yeah. Any other problem you want me to talk from assignments? OP, guys, we will have on weekend. Coming weekend, it will be there. It will be around a 4 hours session, and it's one of my favorite subjects, guys. Like one of my favorite topic, I would say, OP concepts. I've rarely seen people or like from colleges or anywhere like they know OP. Like people are mostly confused between abstraction, encapsulation, all these things. So we'll see it all OP in detail, guys. We'll understand that better. Okay. And I would say there is no interview generally which would be complete without OP questions, guys. So OP is very important for any interview, any placements, anywhere, like any company. OP everyone asks, guys. No, we'll have the session 2 hours, guys. 2 hours Saturday, 2 hours Sunday. I know 4 hours will be hectic for me also. Yeah, user-defined functions. I think you will understand, guys, better UDF like once you learn OP. We'll discuss all these methods and functions in more detail in OP. What is the difference between equal, and equals to? So, okay, I'll just explain you. I think someone is asking, so I'll just take this question quickly. So guys, any class which you define in Java, right, it's inheriting from an object class. And object class have a equals method and hash code method, guys. So what does equals, when we compare using equal, it compare the reference variable. So normally whenever we using equal, it will compare the reference variable. But when you use equals method, it will call the equals method of that class. Okay. And what we'll do, calls equals method of the class. So if I talk about say string class, right? So by default equals method also what it do, guys. If you can't understand like all these overriding and all, it's okay. Like we can explain you again when we discuss OP. But yeah, try to grab something. So what equals method by default also it compares the reference variable. So if I talk about default implementation of equals, it also use compare reference variable. But class can have their custom declaration also for equals. So in string class, when we use equals, it compares actual string. So that's why guys, when we are using double equal to compare strings which are defined with new keyword, it comparing reference variable. But when we use dot equals, it compares actual strings and you are being able to get the strings equal or not. The equal is comparing the actual value. So they like overrided the equals method from the object class. But if you like override and overloading and all these, we'll discuss. Is it clear, Varsha? User defined functions and all guys will cover with OOP. Don't worry. So I think we. Do you guys want me to do the code for exchange string also? Okay, for now, like in day 3, like there are 3 problems. If you not complete all the 3, whatever you complete, just upload that. And once we have a session, we'll discuss, guys. And these concepts, right, like quals, hash code, they comes in very depth, guys. Like if you go for OCJP or these kind of exams, right, they ask you all these things in very detail. Okay, okay, guys. So thanks for joining us for this 5-day series of Java Fundamental. Okay, so we'll be having a doubt session. Doubt session we'll be conducting on Zoom, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So when you want me to conduct the doubt session, tomorrow or day after tomorrow? But before the doubt session, I want you to try today's assignment also, guys. So let me know when you want me to conduct. OP we'll have on Saturday, Sunday, 11 to 1. Okay, so let me know quickly, guys. The people who are already knowing Java, like, have they learned something new, or it's just they have brushed up the things? Tomorrow? Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, when you want me to conduct the doubt session, guys. But I want you to try out today's assignment also before the doubt session. So guys, notes you will find the links in the description of all the videos, guys, because they are different slides, so it's difficult to do it in one folder. If you want, I can just put a one file where the links are there for all the notes. This thing I can do. And all the code, right? Whatever the code we are doing, all these things, they are in just same folder, guys. All the code, right? All the problems which we have discussed, they are in same folder. Don't worry. So what I will do is, I think you can just submit all your assignments from day 3 onwards till Saturday, right? So you can just submit all your from day 3 till today assignments till Saturday. So we'll meet on Friday once. If any doubts, you can ask on Friday. You can just complete it by Saturday. Okay. And we'll be having the exam on next weekend, on the next Sunday, guys. Okay. Okay, great. It's good to hear, guys. Like your comments are things like which keep us motivating and conducting these sessions. So okay, we'll meet on Friday for doubt session, and then we'll meet on Saturday, Sunday for the OOP concepts, and then for OOP concepts you can also inform your friends, batchmate, like so they can also register and they can also learn. There is no harm, guys, spreading the knowledge or having others also learning things. So I think there will be a registration link for OOP, so you can just share that link with your friends also, so they can also join in and they also get all these things. Okay, and we'll have exam on next Sunday. Like I mean, like whatever the Sunday comes in after this Sunday, we'll have exam. And Python is also will be starting, guys, from next weekend. So for on 4th we'll have a guys exam. On 4th there is a Sunday, right? 4th 11 or 12 a.m. Sorry, 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. we'll have exam. The duration of the exam will be around 1 hour to 1.5 hour. It will be consisting of MCQs and coding questions. It's on 4th October. Sorry, 4th October only, right? It's October now. Okay. And there is a playlist where you can just revise your concepts also, guys, once again. And by like on this Friday, we will have doubt session, guys. Or Saturday, Sunday, we'll have OOP, guys. Okay, great. Registration link wise we'll share on the Telegram. I hope all of you are on Telegram, right? So just be on Telegram. We'll just share the registration links. Or you can just go to the website and you can just find it there also. C++, Java, Python, which is better for long. I think this we will discuss in the webinars which we are planning, right? Series of webinar. But I would say for now, Java is in boom, guys. But I think there is a benefit, or like based on which domain or which area you are. This things also matters when it comes to C++, Java or Python. So I would say like if you are going for something like embedded and all. So if you are going for some embedded or optimization kind of things, it's more like you go with C++. When you are going for enterprise applications, right? Large scale applications, you go for Java. When you are going for some ML or web also these days, you just go for Python. But I would say personally it's better to know for now, at least in today's scenario, because technologies, they keep changing, they keep growing. Like like these days technology change very quickly. But yeah, for now I would say Java is in the market. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you. Thanks for joining us for whole this series. We'll meet again. Bye bye. And don't forget to share with your friends also for the upcoming sessions or about the community.